I visited the Florida State Capitol buildings. Notice I said buildings. Florida has an old historic state capitol and a new state capitol building, which just so happens to be the newest state capitol building in the United States. So in this video, I'm going to show you the inside of both. As I stated in my previous video, after my visit to the Alabama State Capitol in Montgomery, I wasn't quite ready to go home. So I decided I'd drive to Tallahassee for my third Capitol building visit. It was only about a 4-hour drive to Tallahassee, Florida from Montgomery, Alabama, so I went online and I booked a hotel in Tallahassee and made my way towards Florida's state capitol buildings. I booked a room at a Hampton Inn & Suites and arrived late in the evening, but because I had already finished my workout earlier in the day, I used my time to catch up on a few projects. And the next morning, after arriving in Florida, I woke up and went straight to the local Planet Fitness. After my workout, I went back to the hotel, made my usual travel breakfast, an egg white and Canadian bacon platter, did some work, and then headed out to the Florida State Capitals. Tallahassee's population in 2021 was about 197,000 according to the US Census. It turns out that Tallahassee is a huge college town with both Florida State University and Florida A&M University in the city. The Florida State University, the state of Florida, and Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare Incorporated are the city's largest employees. I was actually quite impressed as I drove around the city. It looked modern, and greenery from the trees, even in late February, blossomed and beautified the city even more. Anyway, after a quick drive around downtown Tallahassee, I finally found a place to park, got out of my vehicle, and was immediately impressed with the long, narrow street, Appalachian Parkway, that provides a front-facing view of the Capitol buildings. Florida's working state Capitol building isn't actually a traditional state Capitol building. It's a 22-story high-rise structure that towers 307 feet, but more on that later. Florida preserved their last state Capitol building and turned it into a museum. So, since the museum was open, I decided to walk through it before making it to the actual state capitol building. The construction of the museum, that we can now refer to as the old state capitol building, was completed in 1845 and was Florida's third state capitol building. When the building was restored in the 1970s, it was restored to reflect its 1902 look. As you walk into the building, you're immediately greeted by a grand staircase and the rotunda above you. As you walk down the south corridor, you run into where the judicial branch offices used to be. At the end of the hall, you'll come to the old Supreme Court chamber. On the opposite side of the building, the north corridor, you'll find where the old governor's office was, followed by his suite. Walking up the stairs to the second floor gives you a great glimpse of the rotunda. The south corridor takes you down the passageway to the old Senate chamber. The north corridor takes you down the passageway of the old House chamber. In comparison to the only two other Capitol buildings I had walked through up to this point, this building was pretty small. So I can see why it needed an expansion for all the state employees working from this building. The building didn't have much room at all and have an especially small space for gallery public viewings. Next, I made my way to the new state capitol. The newest Florida State Capitol building is a behemoth of a building. It's the newest Capitol building in the United States. Construction was completed in 1977 and it was officially opened on March 31st, 1978. It's also the second largest Capitol building, second to Texas. And it's the fifth tallest Capitol building, rising to 322 feet, 128 feet shorter than our tallest state capitol held by the state of Louisiana. Unfortunately, only 4 main levels were accessible for touring, as far as I know. There was the plaza level on the first floor, the 4th and 5th floors, and the 22nd floor. I was literally overwhelmed upon entering the building. Like I said, the building is massive and there was no way I was going to be able to record as much as I wanted to. Nonetheless, after walking through the security checkpoint, you're immediately welcomed by the massive 2-story plaza level and their modern rotunda. The offices of the governor and his cabinet officials are also located on the first floor of the building. In the rear of the first floor, opposite the main entrance, is a massive Florida Welcome Center. This is where you would sign up for Capitol building tours, buy souvenirs, and get a variety of tour information on travel and other Florida attractions. The 4th floor and the 5th floor were combined in the center to make another massive grand entrance when walking off the elevators. The entrances to the Senate and House of Representatives chambers are located on the 4th floor, while their gallery entrances are located on the 5th floor. The 22nd floor. The 22nd floor is a massive enclosed observation deck. It includes the Capitol Gallery, which features a rotating exhibit of artworks on the east side of the floor. I really enjoyed looking out into the city from the windows. According to their official guide, on a nice sunny day, the visibility can average 20 miles. Considering the state of Florida is one of the top employers in the city, I imagine that all the floors between the 5th and 22nd floor are just offices. It's too bad I didn't think to ask to see if they were just set up as cubicle cities. Anyway, I probably spent 20 minutes more on the observation deck before I finally decided to leave the building. I just couldn't resist that view. But afterwards, after having visited Alabama's capital the previous day, I was ready to head home. And that's what I did. I went home to plot my next course to Nevada and California. And that's that, the end of my capital tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in seeing my next tour or any of my future tours, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you'll see those videos pop up in your feed once they're released. Until then, always remember, go out and go travel. You have everywhere to go see. Can I come in or no?